So I'm trying to wait for the rain to die down a little bit before I go outside to work out again. Um, I'm not averse to running in the rain though. That doesn't bother me at all. I just want to make sure I do it before it gets dark. I don't like running in the darkness when it's raining because it makes it more dangerous. But while I do that, I thought we could just have a quick live stream. And it's funny, no matter what topic I bring up, people always want to discuss whatever they want to discuss. So, to right now for this short live stream, I'm going to say you can just ask me anything. Um, provided it's a genuine question. But uh if I do a second live stream this evening, there will be a focused topic and it will only be on that focused topic. I'm going to try to stay on task with that because too many times people come into the live stream and they just want to ask random questions when there's an actual topic. And I even post within the title what that subject is. What's up, Delphit? Um, and they'll ask anything anyway. So, like I said, rainy day today. Ask me anything. Um, I put on some lo-fi. I've heard several people respond positively to having the lo-fi in the background, which is cool because it's very relaxing and it kind of goes with the rain right now. So the rain and the ambient music seem like a that seems like a thing right now. So let's do that. And like I said, you guys can ask me anything, provided again it's a genuine question, not something absurd. But ask me anything. It can be about anything that I posted previously in previous live streams or in some of my long form videos or in my YouTube shorts. Stuff like dealing with current politics. Um, I discussed yesterday. I did 2 live streams on, let's talk about psychology questions. I've done 2 or 3 streams saying let's talk about philosophy. I've done a few where I said we can talk about religion. I've done one talking about we can talk about interracial relationships. So any of those things we brought up in the past or something new. Again, I'm not a know-it-all, so I'm not going to pretend to. And if I don't know something, I'm just going to tell you. So, favorite genre of music? Well, it used to be hip hop, but I can't rock with hip hop anymore. I think most of the current artists suck. Plus, I view hip hop culture differently. I think it's kind of dragged down the black community. So I'm gonna go with European classical music, particularly the Baroque era. With people like Mozart, Brahms, Beethoven, Chopin, Haydn, those folks. That would be my favorite genre. Pros- mm, I had to I had to actually no fun, bro. I had to get myself into K-pop. I had to like try to force myself to listen to it because I I'm not a Korea boo. I'm not into stuff that comes out of Korean culture. I don't really like South Korea. Like going to like South Korea to me is like I want to be Japan. So it's like why go to South Korea when I can just go to Japan, the place I actually like. Um, uh, they even have like their own version of anime and manga out there, but it's like I can just get the real stuff from Japan. They had their own ramen and stuff like that, but I'm like, again, I can just get that from Japan. Um, K-pop is cool, but I was like, well, there's J-pop, which is a little bit different. If you guys don't know, J-pop is more uh, a syncretic music style, combining like hip hop and Europunk music and pop music. K-pop is more like hip hop, the big band, big the big boy band music stuff. The era of the '90s and top 40 type music. Some of it's good, but I really don't listen to too much of it. Drake or Kendrick Lamar. That's, why are we still asking that? It's like who's actually saying Drake at this point? I've said on several streams that I think Drake sucks. I think he's fugazi. His music is like ghost written, so it's good only because it's written by better people than him. Um, it's catchy for like when I work out, but I don't consider him a real. He's not a real MC. Kendrick is a real MC. And if you don't know the difference between an MC and a rapper, you don't know hip hop. um, Dorothy, I don't know how you pronounce that. It says hello, but hello back. Farmer Bro says I went to North Korea when I was 4. That's interesting. Then I escaped. Really? If that's true, then hats off to you for that harrowing experience. I'm pretty sure you could like probably have a pretty good story to tell. Um, on I don't know whether you would do it online or however you would do it, but I'm pretty sure you have a good story to tell if that's something that you experienced. But like I said, I'm not averse to K-pop or K-drama. It's just I think that's geared towards women, and I'm not effeminate, so K-pop and K-drama don't really appeal to me. There's a few K-dramas I like, but those are still more masculinized stuff. Like there's a K-drama that deals with zombies. I forgot what that's called. It's actually two of them. One of them is like these high schoolers escaping from zombies. I'm still waiting for the second season of that if they ever make it. Then there's another one that's like zombies, but it's like in the past. It's like during the Korean dynasties. I think the Joseon dynasty or somewhere around that era. I don't know, but um, other than that, I'm not really into K-pop, K-drama, all that sort of stuff. So Deborah says the only good thing Korea beats Japan on are the K-dramas. They are pretty good, like Squid Games. Yeah, so when it comes to music and television, I would definitely say South Korea beats out Japan, and that Japan doesn't have their um, movie industry doesn't have the budgets to make quality live action TV and movies the way that South Korea does. Like we get quality movies and TV shows out of uh, South Korea, which is why we see so much on Netflix because they put out a lot of good stuff. There's a few good things in Japan, but by and large, Japan doesn't put a big budget into their filmmaking, which is why anime is so big there because it's much cheaper to create animated content as opposed to live action content. Donnie G says hi. What's up, Donnie G? He said you dropped this. Thank you. Appreciate it. Captain Baker says, "What's this?" So this is just a rainy day ask me anything sort of format. I usually have a focused topic, but because it's just I usually would be going outside right now to go work out. I'm waiting for some of the uh, rain to die down a little bit before I go out. And I just ate some foods. I want that to digest as well. So after that, I'm gonna go out. So I'm just saying, you guys can ask me anything. I do have some domains in which I have a little bit of information, but you can ask me any excuse me, you can ask me anything regardless of that. But typically my topics of interest are like academics, science, particularly cognitive science, philosophy, nerdy stuff like comic books and superheroes, um, and martial arts, stuff like that. Joe said, "Did you ever watch the Netflix show Marco Polo? Great rendition of the life of Genghis Khan, but sadly it got canceled." I saw no, there was like a prequel episode to it before the series came out that I watched. It was good, but then I saw that the series kind of didn't seem to have much to do with that little prequel sneak peek that they gave for this series, so that's all I watched of it. Since Beware the Contrarian, you hear the song. I've never heard that. Div says, what was the last TV show anime that you were genuinely excited for? Excited for. Um, as far as anime, I guess the Vinland Saga. I think the Vinland Saga was like the. It's not the only thing that I've liked recently, but that was like when they announced the Vinland Saga was finally getting a second season. I was hyped for that, and of course, Attack on Titan had its final season this year. So I was kind of hyped for that, but it's kind of dragged on for a while, so I wasn't as excited about that as Vinland Saga. But they're produced by the same studios. As far as TV show, if you mean like live TV show, um, not too much live action TV that I really like. I got some stuff that was on like maybe Disney Plus. Like I remember I was really excited about Ahsoka just to find out how horrible that TV show was. Ahsoka was my last entry into watching Disney Star Wars, because that's what I'm calling it from now on. Disney Star Wars is not the real Star Wars or George Lucas Star Wars, since as George Lucas recently said himself in the Cannes Film Festival when he won the Palme d'Or award, that they don't use his original ideas, um, that without his creational guidance, like it, they really don't understand what Star Wars is about, including concepts like the Force, which and the recent show The Acolyte is basically just a just basically the showrunner expressing her gayness in a show that has nothing to do about sexual orientation. So, but I can't say there's been any TV show I've been hyped about. I know I've recently been really into watching Mad Men, and I know I'm like 10 years, uh, you know, behind with that, but I wasn't watching cable nor pretty much any TV in 2007. I think, as a matter of fact, I think around 2007, I kind of had abandoned watching TV altogether. So, but um, I'm on the second season now, and so far I love the show. Like every episode from the first season was like a mic drop. Like there was like some plot twist at the end of every episode, and it's really good. And I got into it because of a Jerry Seinfeld movie that just recently came on Netflix called Unfrosted, where they used the character of Don Draper to try to try to sell an ad for their Pop Tarts. So that got me into the show. So I'm kind of hype about Mad Men now. Zulu says Wushan, OG, everything good. Wushan. I mean, I'm cool. Back Brexit non-binary three says, do you support the LGBT community? No, sorry. I don't have any problem with people who are in that community, but that's not something I support because it's gotten absurd now. Like I think I if it was just, do I support gay and lesbian people, I would say yes, but I don't support trans people. I think most of them suffer from gender identity disorder. I think they're just gay people who suffer from gender identity disorder, and I think most of those other alphabets are just fucking made up variants of all of LGBT, all those other things, and they keep inventing new ones like almost every day. Like they're the whole LGBT thing has longer letters than the actual fucking alphabet, which is 26 letters long. So it's stupid. Sorry. Has Been Hotel, never heard of it. Again, guys, I don't watch a lot of TV, and the stuff that I do watch is like very like I stay within I stay within my lane of interest. If it's not dealing with superheroes, sci-fi, anime, action, martial arts, stuff like that, I'm probably not watching it. I can't just watch random things on TV just because it's on. It has to be something that already, it either has to star people that I already like, or it has to be in a genre that I already watch. Like, again, like martial arts, superheroes, sci-fi, stuff like that. So clip Cather 200 says it's June Hallie. Oh, excuse. I know that's supposed to be Happy Mental Health Month. Yes, indeed. I just learned that yesterday. Clip Cather 200 that today is. I mean, this month is Happy Men's Mental Health Month. I didn't know that literally until yesterday. And you would think someone with my background in psychology would know that, but because there's so many holidays pushed together, like it's hard to keep track of everything because most people only know June for Pride Month. And so that kind of pushes away something that I think is actually more important, which is Men's Mental Health Month, as we see that a lot of men, particularly in America, are going through a mental health crisis. So, Delphin says Disney ruined Star Wars. What a shame. Incredibly so. Like, and it's the open question is, do they just not understand Star Wars, or do they just don't care because they want to push their own agenda? And you can kind of argue it either way. So Max Headland said, what's up, brother? What's up, Max? See you back. Baxanon Binary 3 says, what does Disney have to why does Disney have to ruin everything? Star Wars is perfect without Mickey Mouse getting involved. Well, that's sort of partly George Lucas' fault. He even again in that long interview he did at the Cannes Film Festival, he even admitted it's kind of his fault that he sold Lucasfilm to Disney at the time because he thought at his age he couldn't go on to tell more Star Wars stories the way he wanted to because it was just draining to him. He wanted to spend more time with family and working on other projects. So that's what happened. I mean, he got a hefty sum. I think he sold it to them for about $4.3 billion with a B. And I think half of that wasn't in cash, but in actual Disney shareholding. So he's a major shareholder of Disney. So you would think that they would give him still some creative. They would still follow his creative guidance on the Star Wars content, but they don't. And that was one of the reasons he was initially pissed when he sold it. And he even went onto the Charlie Rose show and said that Disney were a bunch of white slavers. That's how angry he was about it, because he had the understanding that going into that sale that he would still have some input into the coming films, and they pretty much just rejected his ideas. So he said that he let them go their own way, and that was pretty much it. Dilfer says that's what happens when you sell your figurative child to a corporation like Disney that wants to appeal to a broader audience rather than a smaller but loyal fan base. The fan base was already huge, though. That's not the issue. The thing is, Disney bought male-centered IPs for the very for the very uh, for the very point of getting more male a larger male audience to Disney content, because Disney content is primarily of women and young children. So for them to then go ahead and feminize male-centered properties was absurd. Maybe he should have kept it within his, kept it self-owned or sold it to someone else. I don't know. But I would just say, after 2012, that was pretty much the end of Star Wars as we know it. What they call now is, they can call it Star Wars, but it's not Star Wars qua Star Wars. So, Clip K for 200 says, what about Baki versus Kengan? I don't like that. It looks corny. First of all, I'm kind of a snob when it comes to anime. If something's drawn poorly, I'm not gonna even watch it. Just if it's drawn poorly, that's which is why I can't get into Baki, and all that stuff. I do watch Kengan, but I don't even like Kengan. I'm probably gonna stop watching that too. It's stupid. Like the storylines are stupid. The fights look dumb. The 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 animation style looks cheap. It looks like cheap and just like computer animated. Like the anime of the 80s and 90s, which was hand drawn, looks has much superior quality. Baki is dumb and isn't the character like someone who got raped when he was a kid or something. Like I can't connect to Baki whatsoever. It looks dumb. It looks and it's over the top. Kengan is stupid and over the top too, but it also has really boring fights. I don't care about any of the characters. Like, so I'm definitely not gonna watch Baki versus Kengan. I didn't even realize they were made by the same people because if I did, I probably would have never started watching Kengan. The only reason I started watching it was when I was at the comic book store. I was discussing it with some other geeks, and they were talking about Baki and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm not watching it. I said it looks dumb and it's too. I said the everything about it just looks too over the top for like a fight anime. And they say, oh well, try King and that might be better for you. So I started watching that, and that shit is trash too. I'm on the second season. I made it through the first. The first season was okay, but again, it looks cheap and low quality animation. Storyline is dumb. I don't care about any of the characters. The main character is like the most least interesting of everyone on the show. Like it's dumb. So I'm definitely not gonna watch the crossover um, series. Sorry for that rant. Max says I actually enjoyed the Disney Star Wars movies and especially the TV series. Well, I'm not gonna knock someone who likes it. If someone likes it, more power to them. I'm just saying, as someone who's an original Star Wars fan, it's not Star Wars. And for the long time, fans have been gaslighted by the the decision makers over at Lucasfilm, like Kathleen Kennedy and all her minions, saying, "Oh, if you people don't like this new Star Wars stuff, you're just racist, you're just sexist, bigots, and you're not real Star Wars fans." But when you have the actual creator of Star Wars, George Lucas says, "No, they don't understand my ideas. They don't know Star Wars. They don't even understand simple concepts like the Force that I've created." Like he pretty much vindicated every Star Wars fan who've been gaslit over the last 12 years by Disney saying that they're not real fans because they don't like the new stuff. But again, if you do like the new stuff, that's completely fine. What I'm saying is Disney Star Wars is not George Lucas Star Wars. That's all I'm saying. But you can like it as much as you want. I mean, there are some things that I've liked that Disney done. I've liked the comic books. I think their comic books um, are superior quality to when it was under Dark Horse Comics. But I think Dark Horse had was more had made more creative ideas than Marvel Star Wars. But I think the comics are better under Marvel than they were under Dark Horse. And I like the first two seasons of The Mandalorian. Like that felt like Star Wars originally until the third season when they just fucked it up and they had to make it all about feminism and all this other dumb shit. But the first two seasons were great, and Rogue One was really good. Like I went to the movies with my boss to go see that movie because we neither one of us had nothing to do. He, and I was like, man, I said after I leave work, I said I don't have any life. I just go home. He's like, you want to go? He said, you want to go see Star Wars? I was like, hell yeah. We went to go see Rogue One, and it didn't disappoint. But everything else they've made since then has. So. Doma says, yeah, Max Mandalorian season 1 was the only thing I enjoyed from Disney's Star Wars. It's Optimus Pride rollout. Doma says, it's funny because the plus and LGBTQ is supposed to mean everything else, but now it's like LGBTQIASWDHFH. Actually, I know what the plus stands for. Like the problem is they don't. the problem is they don't even agree on all the different letters. Like I've seen 3 different variants of the entire like rainbow alphabet. Like and there's probably more than 3 variants, but I've seen 3 different variants of it. Like, because it stands for stuff like Two Spirit, which is like the sort of like the non-binary folks of the American indigenous community, and you have like asexual and all this other stuff. I think asexual is bullshit, by the way. Like, there's there's no such thing as being asexual. Like, if you're asexual, that means you have mental health issues, because a normal person has sexual behaviors and desires. Like, you don't need to be you don't need to do like a whole class on Freud to know that. Like, everyone has sexual proclivities. Like, asexual is just bullshit. It just means you have no sexual desire whatsoever. But the weird thing is, they supposedly don't have sexual desires, but they still fuck. So again, everything in that whole alphabet can just be reduced down to gay. So, Dendro Harris says, hello everyone. What's up, Dendro? Elijah is gone from the channel. Captain Insano says, y'all too old to be doing this. Well, if we're too old, then maybe you're too young to be here. Do you ever think about that? First, and on top of that, older folks don't stop thinking about topics that younger people talk about. We've talked about them before you did. There's people older than me that, I'll talk about something. It's like, what you know about that? Like, nothing is new under the sun. Delphi says, never realized June had so many holidays packed into it. Right. We got Father's Day coming up, which I must tell you right now, I'll probably do a whole stream on that. I don't give a fuck because for reasons I won't get into in this stream, but I might get into it on a stream on Father's Day. But I have talked about it in some of my long form videos. If you ever want to watch those things, I don't care. I could care less. So, but yeah, it's a bunch of holidays packed into June. Pretty much like June is like the kickoff of the summer. So it makes sense that a lot of things will be packed into June, like Pride Month, Men's Mental Health Month, which should probably be like in the winter if you ask me, but whatever. Especially as the winter holidays kind of come in tandem with like people being depressed and stuff like that. So you would think Men's Mental Health Month would probably be more towards the winter months than June, which is like when everything seems to open up and things seem good. There's people going outside more, whatever. But I don't know. I don't make decisions on holidays. Then we got the Juneteenth also, which is now a federal holiday under Biden, which I think is bullshit. First of all, here's the thing that most people don't know. Black people celebrate July the 4th more than other folks do, because it was for the early emancipated slaves. It was actually like for them, it was like they were celebrating their freedom. This is why July 4th was so important within the black community for a long time, which is so funny because later on, all these little conscious woke hoteps were saying, why y'all celebrating July the 4th? That didn't have anything to do with us. I'm like, yeah, you don't know your history. But, people try to sound clever online, but I don't think we need Juneteenth and July 4th. Plus, it was just a bullshit federal holiday Biden did to kind of pretend like he's doing something for black people when he really doesn't. He does just does superficial things like give us a useless federal holiday and elect Ketanji Brown Jackson to Supreme Court, even though she's never had the interests of black people as a judge, as far as I've seen in her legal career. So whatever. Definitely Captain Lee, the no one keeping you here. Right. Like if you feel like this general audience is too old for your liking, then no one told you to be here, Captain. Like, go watch Kai Sonata, one of those other little fucking idiots. But if you do want to be here and contribute to the conversation, I'm more than welcome it. I mean, I've had young people on the platform before, and I've even given them like academic advice. So, it's on you. Clip Katha says, if you like martial arts, animes, or shows, you like Baki or Kengan. I do, but I don't like those. They're not done well. Like I said, I'm an anime connoisseur. I've been literally watching anime since the early '80s when I started watching Voltron as a little kid. So if I see something that's like, if I see something that has a weak storyline, the characters aren't well fleshed out, and the animation looks like cheaply drawn computer animation, I'm not gonna like it. And like I said, Baki Baki and Kengan hit all those ticks. Like, it's cheaply drawn. I don't care about the characters. It's not a good storyline. The fight scenes aren't exciting. I haven't watched Baki, but I don't want to watch it because I've heard the guy was like raped or something as a child. So I have no interest in the character and how he's like hyper masculine now after getting it up the ass as a child or whatever happened to him. Baki just seems like a wannabe Fist of the North Star or whatever. I don't know, but it looks stupid. I'm not into it. Like, it's literally tons of anime that I'm watching right now that the Chivalry of a Failed Knight, Dr. Stone, uh, Fire Force, um, what's it called? Something Hagami no Ippo. I just started getting into that, which is a boxing. It's a boxing anime. It's pretty dope so far. Getting back into a classic anime that I've just started watching, Ranma One Half, and a ton of other things that I can mention that I just can't think of right now. So I watch a ton of anime, but I'm not going to watch something just because it's anime if it looks bad. The only exception was One Piece. I didn't want to watch that originally because it looked pretty stupid. But what draws you in is that you actually care about the character, even though it's not as well drawn as some of the other anime that I watch. I love One Piece because the storylines are incredible. You care about the characters, and it just pulls you in. So that's the difference. Eric is in the house. Eric Rado. He said there's many things to celebrate in June. Pride Month, Men's Mental Health Month, Puerto Rican Pride Month. Man, I've always wanted to go to New York City to go to the Puerto Rican Day Parade in my single days. Juneteenth is rich with diversity. Love it. Bell says, how do you turn the chat on your lives? I don't know how. Help, I'm slow. I can't tell you from the audience, and I mean, it just shows up when I'm live. You can see it, but if you're watching it, if you're watching it after it's already been uploaded, then you're gonna have to go down and click that little chat button at the bottom, and it's gonna bring up all the everything that was going on in the chat relative to where you're watching it on the video. But every once in a while it may mess up and it may not show it. But if you're watching this like after it's already been recorded and uploaded, you simply go down to the bottom. There's a little icon button that you click that looks like a chat box. You hit that, and it's going to bring up the live stream comments as it's happening, through the unfolding of the video. But I don't know. I can't tell you if you can't see it live because you just left the comment, so you should be able to see what you posted. Bell said my birthday is in June. Difference said if I made $4 billion, honestly, when I care what they did with my IP. But that, to me, that's all. The fact that he did get like $4.3 billion for Lucasfilm, but still cares about it, shows that that's something he was actually passionate about, which is funny because a lot of people now try to criticize him for saying that it was just a money it was just all about money for him, and it was not. It was always a passion project for him. It was literally George Lucas making a movie based on the stuff that he watched as a kid, like watching all these little space operas like Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers. Um, Not to mention loving like the old samurai films from like the 50s and 60s, as well as the old westerns, stuff like that. He combined all of that and put that into his project. It was a passion project. So the fact that he still cares, even after he started doing this back in 1976 and sold it back in 2012 to Disney, just shows that he cares about his art. And he's an auteur. Like, and most people only know him for Star Wars and also maybe Indiana Jones, but George Lucas is credited with over 60 films that he's either produced, directed, or written. He has over 60 films to his credit. Max says that one Lion King scene where Nala staring down at Simba spawned a lot of future fury. That's funny. Nothing Lion King was like the climax of the Disney Renaissance of the Walt Disney Animation Studio. Like, people considered the Disney Renaissance back in 1989 with the starting of The Little Mermaid, and then after that you had Belle and Sebastian, then Aladdin, and then I think it reached its apex with The Lion King in '94, and ended, I guess, like in '98. After it went down a little bit from like Pocahontas and Hercules and Tarzan. I think Tarzan was like the last one of them. But I'm pretty sure people were having some weird thoughts about cartoon animals watching Lion King. Clip Kevin says Baki's better trust. I'm not watching it. I'm just not watching it. It doesn't hold any interest to me. Like I said, it looks stupid. I don't like the character. The martial arts looks goofy. Like, I'm a martial artist, so if I see bad martial arts movies or bad martial arts anime, I'm just not gonna watch it because it looks dumb. Like, they're like muscled upon muscle. Like, they look more buff than a He-Man action figure, and it just looks corny. It really does. It looks corny. Like it's drawn for like a 7-year-old boy who's going to be an incel when he grows up. Like, that's what it looked like it's made for. Like, it has no interest to me. Dolphus says, man, when he says he hates an anime, he really means it. It looks dumb. It looks, I was about to say something, but no, it looks dumb. It really does. Like I said, compared to some of the best, when you've watched some of the best anime that's ever made, it's gonna heighten it's gonna like raise your standards. Like, when I can watch something like Fist of the North Star, um, what's some other classic stuff, Ninja Scroll, stuff like that, Photron from back in the day, Transor Z, which was originally Mazinger Z, all that stuff, the old Transformers that was actually made in the Japan anime studio. None of that stuff compares. Trying to think of the vampire stuff. Oh, Vampire Hunter D. That's a classic. Vampire Hunter D. None of these things can mess with Vampire Hunter D, or Ninja Scroll, or Fist of the North Star, or what's the one about the girl who's just like a badass? I can't remember that name, but all that stuff. That's, like I said, that stuff was top shelf anime. So you don't have to do a lot to catch my attention. Like I said, it got to be something on the level of like Vinland Saga to keep me hooked. Max says, I've only seen very few animes. The one I like the most was Hajime no Ippo, a boxing anime followed by Baki. Then this hilarious anime called Golden Boy Kentaro. Have I watched that? That sounds familiar. I can't remember if I watched it. But yeah, I just started watching Hajime no Ippo. I think I just only watched the first 4 episodes so far. It's pretty damn good, to be honest. It's really good. Clip K, this is Max. Golden Boy is a good one. I've heard of it, guys. I can't remember what it's about, but I've heard of it. Um, I dig chick flicks as Solo was the dopeness. The movie? I don't think so. It was an unnecessary movie that didn't. No one was asking for a backstory to Han Solo, and the whole stupid thing where it was not his real name. It was just something that someone literally called him because he didn't have a name to give him when he flew off planet. When he went off world. It just that was just dumb. Like it was a it was well. I'll say this: the movie was well made because it was directed by Ron Howard. Ron Howard is a master filmmaker, and Ron Howard has worked with Steven Spielberg and George Lucas in the past. As a matter of fact, Ron Howard starred in an old film by George Lucas. It might have been his first film. I'm not George Lucas' first film. His first film was THX, but it might have been the first movie Ron Howard was in. It was called American Graffiti. It's on Netflix, I think, still. But you see a very young Ron Howard, a very young Harrison Ford. I think it came out in 1974, 5, something like that. 1973, maybe. That's what they're saying. This is woke Star Wars. They're gonna make Darth Vader trans man identifying as a real woman. I mean, at this point, like, it's who even knows? Like, it's just dumb the way they were explaining it. And then the and then they even set up their actors for ridicule because let's be honest, not every actor is a fan of the project in which they're working. They're just hired to to play a part. But there's no point in having the actors come to like these interviews and lie saying they're a fan, and then they expose that they're not a fan because they don't even understand what it's about. Like when that little dumbass rainbow riding dude that plays a Jedi in the new Acolyte said that he was a fan in the movie, and he said he enjoyed when Anakin blew up the Death Star. Yeah, he said Anakin blew up the Death Star. He also said that there's no. Then he also said something about there's no good or evil, just how you use the Force. Yeah, you're a fan. You'd have been better off saying, you know what? I've never been a fan of Star Wars in the past, but now I'm watching it. Now that I've starring in this new show, people would have accepted that. But to sit there and lie and say you're a fan, and then you say stupid stuff like Anakin blew up the Death Star. Kilo says, "What's going on, y'all?" Dilfer says you should check out Windbreakers. Came out this season and it's a great anime so far. Haven't heard of that. Okay, I finally caught up with the comments. Okay, good. So yeah, I don't know. Like I said, there's a ton of anime that I'm watching or have been watching. And it's hard to keep up with everything because since I can't watch everything every day, it's a bunch of stuff. Because like I'm watching stuff on 3 different platforms. Like I'm watching ever since Disney Plus and Hulu merged. Disney Plus has like a shit ton of anime, and so I'm watching stuff on there that I actually had saved on my Crunchyroll wish list. But a lot of stuff on my Crunchyroll wish list are behind a paywall, whereas on Hulu or Disney Plus now I can watch it for free. So I'm watching a bunch of stuff on there, but there's still some stuff on Crunchyroll that I want to see. On top of that, Crunchyroll has some live action Japanese shows on there that I've been watching, and then there's a bunch of stuff on Netflix that I'm watching as well, and then stuff that I can't catch on any platform I'll watch for free by using my Cinema HD app on my Fire Stick, which is it's basically like a BitTorrent site that you can download onto your Fire Stick so that you can pretty much watch anything for free. So anything that comes out on Stars or Prime or anything like that, which I would have to pay for, I'll just watch for free on Cinema HD. Also, shameless plug. So for you guys, if you didn't know, I did a whole live stream on my bug out bag because I told people I was going to show everything that was in it. So I finally did, and I think some people were surprised just how much this thing contains. So I did that, and my wife actually liked the video. So she did a video of her own camping backpack. Not the same as a bug out bag, but it can easily, with a few tweaks, it can easily be made to be tactical, which is what what I told her. I said we just gotta add a few flares to it. So she has a video. I'm gonna upload it soon. I'm just waiting for her to do a voiceover on the video because the original audio was really bad because of a lot of background noise, which she tried to edit out by using some editing software to replace the background noise with some white noise, but it becomes kind of intrusive and you can't hear her as clearly. So she's gonna instead edit it again and just do a voiceover to make it sound more clearly what she's saying. And I'm gonna upload that as soon as she's done with that. And she still has to do her congratulatory video for me doing my 1,000+ subs. But the reason she hasn't just because this is typhoon season. So just like if if you've been traveling to the Caribbean right now and it's like hurricane season, it's typhoon season over there in the Philippines. So hard to um it's hard for her to do the video that she wanted to make with her walking around near her office in BGC, which stands for Bonifacio Global City, which is sort of like a merger of three different cities. It's like a merger point between three different cities. It's kind of like really upscale. If you think of like mid BGC, I think you could think of it as sort of like Midtown Manhattan. If you've been there or have that sort of imagery in your head, that's sort of what BGC is like. So she wanted to walk around BGC as part of the congratulation video to me. So I was kind of keeping that a secret, but not everyone's gonna see this video. But yeah, so part of that is she's gonna walk around BGC and talk about whatever. So that will still be uploaded once she can do it when it's not raining. It was just hard raining today, matter of fact. So let me make sure I haven't missed any comments. I don't see any new comments, so I don't know if I'm just not seeing them or I need to reconnect or if I'm just all caught up with comments, which it can be either or. Oh, and as far as fighting anime, I mean, of course, there's going to be classic stuff that I love, like Dragon Ball Z and Naruto. I've been watching Dragon Ball Super. I think Dragon Ball Super was going to continue until, you know, Toriyama died earlier this year. So, most of us are sad. A lot of us, a lot of people basically say he was like the George Lucas of anime, Akira Toriyama. Like, that's how, because I mean, and he didn't, because most people know him for Dragon Ball Z, but just like with George Lucas didn't only do Star Wars, he's done a bunch of projects. Same thing with Akira Toriyama. Like, he didn't just do Dragon Ball, he's done a lot of other stuff for which he's also known well for. So it was kind of sad with his passing because, like I said, I think he had creative control over Super, unlike Dragon Ball GT, which he had very little control over. I think he did a few. I think he wrote a few episodes, but it wasn't based on a manga that he made. It was like something separate. That's why a lot of people consider Dragon GT trash and don't consider it canon to the Dragon Ball universe. I don't see comments, guys, so I'm probably about to end this because I'm guessing the my connection messed up somewhere, which is why I can't see any new comments for the last 10 minutes. But that's fine. I'm probably going to do a later stream this evening because I have different crowds of people during the day that I have in the evening. So since it seems I can't find any new comments, I can't that I'm assuming that I'm just not able to see them from my end, which sometimes happen with these vertical live streams. Because I'm pretty sure there's like a flood of comments that I've missed within the last 10 minutes of me yakety yakking. So I'm gonna call it a day, guys. But thank you for everyone who appeared. Um, if I do a live stream this evening, there will be a focused topic though. It won't just be a ask me anything format. Rain is pretty much stopped, so that's my cue to get going. So thank you guys. And if you haven't already, please like the video, subscribe, hit notifications, share the video. It helps me a lot with the algorithm because everything you do on YouTube is like algorithm based, like everything. So the content you talk about, whom you talk to, when you talk to them, how long you talk to them, how long people watch, when they watch, like all that stuff. It feeds the machine. So thank you and talk to you guys later.